Here is a device that no one really thinks about, but is literally one of the best retro handhelds I can think of getting, minus the prices that you might find. The form factor, the performance, the display, and the exploits to the software make this a truly amazing device for retro gaming, and this is none other than the PSP Go. This might be a forgotten relic, since even I thought that the PSP Go was the same device as that Xperia phone that they made for gaming at the time. But this was actually one of the best purchases that I've made for retro gaming, and here's why. Let's dive right in. For more content, do make sure to subscribe to this channel because we upload fairly often and focus on all sorts of tech products. So do make sure to leave us a like and comment any of your thoughts down below while you're at it. It really helps us with the algorithm. And if you want to support us further, then we've actually got a Patreon open, which offers early access to content and special insight to projects that I'm always working on in case that is something that interests you. So links to everything down below. The exterior design consists of plastic, but this is still a great build for the PSP Go. This device is insanely small, resembling a sidekick of the day with its size. When I first got it, I was actually pretty surprised with just how small this is. It's not at all much bigger than a Mii Mini, yet it holds so much power. This device, like I just said, resembles a phone of yore and even slides up with a very satisfying snap to close it out. Even after all of these years, this device feels great to slide up and down. I kind of miss that aspect about phones, even if we have it way better now. Now on the front, you're going to find your standard PSP layout with the typical single thumbstick. You'll also get the home button and the speakers near the display itself. On the right, you're going to find your sleep-wake slider, and on the left, you're going to find your M2 memory drive port and a Wi-Fi switch. On the bottom, you're going to find a headphone jack and a proprietary charging port. On the top, you're going to find your triggers, some additional navigation buttons, and a volume rocker. On the back, you're going to find some grips for this device. I have small hands, so to me, this device has a very nostalgic and comfortable feel to it. I really like it, and I would not ask for it to be any other way, minus the stupid M2 memory, of course. I wish that it just used either the old memory stick for the PSP or a micro SD card instead, but there is a workaround that I will talk about soon. However, my point is that there aren't really going to be many devices that are still pocketable in a traditional sense, and this device actually is. I love it. Now, regarding the buttons, I actually really like them. They do not have much travel, but I like how they feel. They're still somehow a bit mushy in spite of them having such low travel, so a clickier design would have been better, but this is mostly fine. It's mostly that thumbstick that feels pretty bad and outdated, and its positioning is absolutely ridiculous. I don't love it, but it's serviceable. And it is going to be smaller than what most PSP owners are used to seeing as well, so do keep that in mind. This device features a 16:9 TFT LCD display running at 480x272. This display on paper is very outdated, but in practice it still looks great. It's very colorful, and while it doesn't get very bright at all, it is still a nice display to look at. Your games will still look great here, and it is going to be fine. Not really too much to say in that regard. The speakers are going to be front firing, but they are very tinny and pretty quiet. Speakers were not at all a priority at the time, and surely this device is pretty thin too, but at least it has a headphone jack. Anyway, have a listen. So I mentioned that you can still add more storage to this device, and this is a purely digital device, so you can't use the same disk drives that you could use with previous PSP models. You also can't really technically use the older memory sticks for them. I tried very hard to find storage for this device and couldn't really find anything. So unless I just completely missed it, well, the only storage solution to allow me to actually be able to store more than a few games was this adapter that goes into a ribbon cable that connects into the M2 port on this device. Then you would insert a micro SD card inside of that adapter and seal it up after the fact. This does appear to work just fine for me, and I'm going to leave links in the description if they're from Amazon, then they will be definitely affiliate links. Also, when it comes to games, you will need your own ROMs because the PSP store shut down last year, which means that you can't purchase any more digital content for it. So this is a dead handheld, make no mistake. But it's through the next section that we can bring it back to life. Now let's talk about performance, and I know that this might be a silly section to dedicate time to because this is a PSP after all, but yes, PSP games run fantastic on this device, and there aren't any performance issues on this device that you won't encounter on any other version of the PSP. A PSP Go does have a smaller display, so games, to me, do look better since the pixels are less visible, which is nice. Sometimes a smaller display is better to me, but that won't be the case for everyone. However, PSP is obviously going to run as perfectly as ever on this device. Now let's go ahead and talk about performance with other systems, in other words, emulation performance. So let's begin by talking about SNES Performance. This was very good without a doubt, just based off of the performance. I used the SNES 9X emulator on this and didn't have noticeable performance issues at all. I did stretch the image because I do prefer it that way, bite me. But for those of you who do prefer to play at a 4:3 aspect ratio, then you can totally do that. This emulator has you covered. I also turned off the smoothing since it was blurring out the pixels in games, making them look really bad. I was actually going to say some pretty bad things about SNES because of this, but luckily I found that setting. So yeah, overall I enjoyed the experience of playing SNES on the PSP Go and would totally do this way more often. Now, performance in N64 was also quite beautiful. This device can chew through N64 much better than more current Anbernic devices. While playing Super Mario 64, I experienced quite literally zero issues that I would care to note. The image looked pretty good, the frame rate was always consistent, and the sounds never chugged or stuttered at all. I was genuinely impressed here because N64 isn't the easiest things for a lot of handhelds to run, so seeing that the PSP Go can just chew through it so well was very satisfying. This is one of the big reasons why I love the PSP Go, and I think that it's such a cool little handheld. But unfortunately, it seems like with most Sony handhelds, you don't really get the most out of them until Sony stops supporting them. But at least their handhelds are amazing eventually. So when it comes to battery life, that's maybe where the PSP Go falters a bit and isn't that great. For my unit, I get about 3 hours of battery life since this is an old device and the battery just isn't what it used to be. But that's pretty much everything that I have to say about the PSP Go. I mean, I was genuinely surprised when I made that community post about it, and more people than usual recounted some of their nostalgia towards this little handheld. The PSP was, in my opinion, always a great handheld. And to this day, even though the PS Vita is an emulation monster, I still think that the PSP Go does have some advantages over it, primarily on the pocketability and convenience. I do not recommend the PSP Go for $200 though. Don't buy it for that much because you might as well just buy a Vita if that's the case. But at around $120, I think that this is actually a really cool handheld to pick up on the used market. So as I'm sure you guessed, strongly recommended as long as you can find it at the right price. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way up until the very end. I do very much appreciate it. I am going to be leaving as many links as I can to Amazon down below, up primarily if I can find any links to that memory card adapter thingy, then I will make sure to leave those as well. But even if I can't find affiliate links, I'll see what other links I can find for it. Now, with that said, thanks so much to all of the patrons for being so amazing, especially the tier 3s, which are going to be Omar in this case. Thank you so much for all of your support because it really does go a very long way. And now on to the rest of the patrons that you're going to be seeing right on screen, the tier 2s and the tier 1s. Thank you so much for everything because everything that you do does go a long way. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitch. So my official schedule is now going to be for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I can finally stream, and I will be streaming some FromSoft games, probably streaming myself playing Dark Souls 1 maybe, but we will see. Either way, I'm always open to having conversations and stuff while live, so please make sure to follow me on Twitch in case of anything. And also, do make sure to follow me on Instagram. I do post there every now and then, and you can get some updates over there. But with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and until next time, enjoy.